You mean you got a deal, Harvey? You paid 45 cents for that slushie. Ours only costs 30 cents.
Sure, and throw away paper cups. But with mine, I got a free glass.
Can't argue with facts. Harvey, you are the something-for-nothing champ. You got more free stuff than the rest of us put together.
Well, sure. He's always entering contests and looking for deals. By the way, did you find out what the prize was for that one you entered last month?
Oh, the one in Suburban Gentleman's Magazine? No, that part of the page was torn off. What's the difference with the prizes, as long as it's free?
Maybe the prize old Mrs. Mosley's house.
Well, that spooky old house is one thing that I wouldn't even take if it was free.
I wonder if old Mrs. Mosley really is dead.
My dad says she's been gone so long she must be.
Yeah. I wonder how she died.
Probably like this.
Oh, come on. Let's go take a look at the old Mosley place.
Yeah. Go.
Deserted.
Here comes Charlotte. She'll know about Mrs. Mosley.
Charlotte thinks she knows everything, just because her dad owns the paper.
Well, I know if I wanted to find out about Mrs. Mosley, I wouldn't just stand around talking about it. I'd go up to her house and investigate.
Oh, yeah? What makes you think I wouldn't?
Because you don't even have the nerve to climb over the fence, Harvey Small.
I guess you're going to have to take some kidding about this on Monday when school opens, Harvey.
Oh, gosh. If Charlotte didn't always have that camera with her, and her dad didn't own that paper, then she would have never got that picture.
Correction, Harvey. The picture wouldn't be here if you hadn't been foolish enough to try and climb that fence yesterday.
I hope it taught you a lesson, Harvey. Woody, are you sure you won't have some pancakes?
Thanks anyway, Mrs. Small. I just came over to give Harvey my ants. My mom says I can't keep them.
I'm afraid Harvey can't either. I wish he'd get rid of the ones he has. Be sure to keep those away from the food, Woody.
Yes, ma'am. But, Mom, Woody's giving them to me free.
Seems like all you ever think about are things that are free, Harvey. There are more important things in life, you know? I'll get it.
Well, I think I'll see if Willie can take my ants.
Coming. Harvey, did you enter a contest in Suburban Gentleman's Magazine?
Jeez, I must have won something. Yeah, Dad? Did I win something? What is it?
Hawkins.
Hawkins? What's that?
I am Hawkins, sir. You have won my services as a gentleman's gentleman for a period of 1 month. That is correct, madam. For the next 30 days, I shall be attending to Master Harvey's every personal need.
Well, gosh, if I would have known before I entered that the free prize was the gentleman's gentleman. Nothing against you, of course, but I'm only 11 years old.
Quite so, sir. But the contest rules impose no age restriction. Therefore, you are the valid winner.
Be that as it may, Mr. Hawkins, I'm afraid...
Forgive me, sir. Just Hawkins.
Oh, yes. Well, Hawkins, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid this is one free prize that Harvey just cannot accept. Harvey, will you stop wriggling? May I call you a cab, Hawkins?
Well, that's very kind of you, sir, but I'm afraid I have nowhere to go. Fortunately, I'll be starting a permanent position in a month with another gentleman, but until then, You see, sir, gentlemen's positions are all but impossible to find these days.
Oh, dear. Well, we can't just turn him out into the street.
Maybe it's just as well. You could use a little supervision, Harvey, and teaching you some of the gentlemanly values in life isn't such a bad idea either. I think maybe this is going to work out all right. After you unpack, Hawkins, we'll discuss Harvey's schedule with you.
Oh, gosh, Dad.
Cow.
Greek?
Wait till the other guys hear about this.
Well, at least I got one of Woody's free ants.
Begging your pardon, sir, I'll lay out your dinner attire. And I've taken the liberty of drawing your bath.
Gosh, Hawkins, what'd you do that for? I know what a bath looks like.
In that case, sir, we'll forget about the drawing. I filled the bath for you.
Thanks. As soon as I get undressed.
May I be of assistance, sir?
No! Oh, no! What's my mom going to say after what happened with Woody's ants?
I'll attend to it, sir, while you finish disrobing.
Thanks. Oh, and if it's all the same to you, why you get rid of them? Gotta finish undressing in the bathroom. I gotta take a bath anyway.
Good evening, sir.
So what's so good about it? I had to get dressed up.
A serviette on your lap. A gentleman always dresses for dinner, sir. And may I add that you look splendid.
Thanks.
I hope frankfurters and beans meet with your approval, sir.
Yeah, they're my favorites. But is this all a gentleman gets?
For a first serving, yes, sir. But a gentleman may have as many servings as he wishes.
All right. I just ring at any time, day or night?
Whenever you wish to summon me, son.
Ooh, one of my aunts.
Dreadfully sorry, sir. Yes, I must have overlooked this one.
Hawkins, you didn't throw him out. You saved my aunts.
I hoped you'd be pleased, sir. I only wish I were able to please you as much in other respects.
Heck, it isn't your fault. My dad wants you to make a gentleman out of me. And I just can't get happy about that. But I am about the ants.
Thank you, sir. But it's hardly enough to expect a letter of recommendation from you.
Recommendation? From me?
Without it, my next employer would never accept me.
Then I'll write you one anyway, whether I'm pleased or not.
I'm afraid I must earn it, sir. It's a matter of pride.
Okay, then we'll find some other ways for you to please me. What else can you do?
Let me see, sir. I can attend a gentleman riding to fox and hounds.
Well, I don't have a hound or a fox.
Horse racing, then? African safaris. I once staged Romeo and Juliet. Arrange a fundraising bazaar.
Fundraising?
They're selling things from booths, sir, to raise money for charity.
That's it, Hawkins. We'll sell slushies.
Slushies?
Yeah, all we need is flavoring and crushed ice.
Oh. And the charities?
Me! Boy, will I be pleased. And I know just where to get the crushed ice for free. Gosh, Woody, did you have to bring the other guys along? It's okay. I think they like him. Thanks,
One for you, one for you,
Thanks, Mr.
one for you, and one for you, Master Willie. My pleasure, gentlemen. And should the pretzels create a thirst, Master Harvey's slushy stand will be open shortly.
Thanks. The boards are staying together now. Using our belts on them was a good idea, Hawkins.
Thank you, John. And may I ask what you plan to do with this rather large block of ice?
Oh, lots of neat things. I just haven't thought of any yet. Why?
Well, it's just that back at the market, sir, I noticed that we could have purchased this bag of crushed ice for half the cost of the block.
Sure, but by buying the block, we get crushed ice free.
Of course, how stupid of me.
That should be far enough away to keep you from getting wet, Betsy.
Thanks, Daddy.
Oh, no! The hill!
Good heavens. But I think if I control the vehicle from the rear, sir, it will descend safely.
So there really is a Hawkins.
How do you do, miss?
Very well, thank you. Wait!
Good heavens.
Slow down! Come here! Watch out, mister! Look out, mister! You
Dreadfully sorry.
Out of the way!
Look, I'm really sorry.
Don't touch the U.S. mail.
Money!
Dreadfully sorry.
I'll get it, Betsy, I'll get it!
Oh, good heavens.
I'll get it!
Cute, Harvey.
I'm sorry, Master Harvey. I'm afraid I failed you totally in yesterday's unfortunate incident.
That's very noble, Hawkins, but it only happened because all Harvey thinks about is getting things free.
Well, you didn't fail me, Hawkins. I'm pleased I didn't have to stand around selling slushies. And it's my own fault Charlotte got that picture of me, just like the other day. I just wish school wasn't starting today, so I'd have to face everybody. But you know, that's not your fault either.
The small residence. Oh, good morning, sir. I hadn't expected to hear from you for a few weeks yet. The chuckle of the day. Yes. Yes, sir, I've seen it. I see. Yes, of course, sir, I understand. Thank you for calling, sir.
That sounded as if this picture cost you your permanent job, Hawkins.
It's of no consequence, sir. If there's nothing else, Master Harvey, I'll lay out your clothes for school.
Poor Hawkins. He'll have no place to go, no one to turn to.
And it's all my fault. Here, you want to trade? Come on, I'll trade you this.
Attention! Attention, may I have your attention, please? Until this year, the manager of my community theater arranged for the entertainment for the annual PTA luncheon. Now, since he has retired, and I have not been able to replace him, your teacher, Mrs. Petty...
Excuse me, that's Mrs. Pettit.
has kindly volunteered you children to provide the entertainment.
Children, any suggestions for Mrs. Endicott?
Oh!
Yes, Harvey.
Me, Woody, Willie, Eddie, Irving, and David will put on a play.
What are you talking about?
You're crazy, Settle down. Settle down. I think it's a fine idea, Harvey. What play did you have in mind?
Romeo and Juliet. No way! Come on, you guys. When Hawkins lost his job, you said you'd do anything to help.
And we will. But what's Romeo and Juliet got to do with Hawkins?
Everything. He's done it before. He can stage it for us. Besides, Miss Endicott might be impressed enough to hire Hawkins as a manager at our community theater.
But who are we gonna get to play Juliet?
Cheer up, Master Woody. In the history of the theatre, women's roles were often played by men.
Swell. We've got problems, Hawkins. Willie's our prompter.
Oh.
He's got a cold and can hardly talk.
Well, that's easily fixed. I'll do the prompting, and Master Willie can spray the air freshener.
You really gonna spray that flowery junk all over the audience?
Well, by all means, sir. The fragrance of spring flowers will greatly enhance the romantic atmosphere of the scene.
Oh, be some other name belonging to a man.
What's in a name? What's in a name?
What's in a name that which we would call a rose, by any other name would smell as... Ew, what's that smell?
Bug spray! Oh, I'm allergic to bug spray! Oh.
Willie, cut it out! Stop it, Harvey, I'm gonna fall! Well, you're really getting up in the world, Harvey. This time he made the evening paper.
And ruined any chance of Mrs. Endicott hiring Hawkins. But I got an idea. Did you read the article about the weird lights out at the old Mosley place?
Maybe it's Mrs. Mosley's ghost.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to find out tonight.
Oh, you're crazy. Besides, Hawkins would never allow it.
I know. I'm leaving him a note to meet me out there. If we can find out what's making those weird lights, we might get our picture taken and be in the paper for being heroes. If that happens, someone will want to hire Hawkins.
And you'd be able to face the other kids again.
Yeah, but the important thing is Hawkins. Now give me 20 minutes, then call Charlotte. Tell her to go out to the old Mosley place with her camera, 'cause the mystery's been solved. Gotta go.
Am I on time, sir?
Gosh, Hawkins, you scared me. Well, how'd you get here so fast?
Well, I took the liberty of using your velocipede, sir.
Huh?
Your bicycle, sir. And may I suggest that in future you consult your parents about your evening plans. I'm sure you wouldn't want to worry them.
Well, I'm sorry, Hawkins, but I had to find out what happened to old Mrs. Mosley. I have to do something big for the other kids so I can face them again.
Yes, I understand, sir.
Hawkins, there's those weird lights.
Weird lights indeed, sir.
No, not that way. We've got to sneak in.
Begging your pardon, sir, weird lights or no weird lights, a gentleman always enters the proper way. I don't see too well in the dark, sir. Oh, would you mind terribly holding on so I don't trip?
Mrs. Mosley's ghost!
Ghost? I'm more alive than I ever was.
You mean you're not dead yet?
Well, I should hope not. What are you two doing here anyway?
It's about the lights.
Oh, well, then come on in. It's about time the electric company showed up. But I must say, they're hiring younger people all the time.
Yes, but we're not from the electric company.
No?
See, me and Hawkins just came out to check on those weird lights that were seen last night.
That's funny. I just got back last night. Oh, it must be my candle. You see, I just returned from living in Europe. And although I notified the electric company, they hadn't sent anyone out here to turn on the lights. Tell me, young man, weren't you afraid coming to this spooky old house?
Not with Hawkins with me. You see, if we would have found out what was making those weird lights, Hawkins would get his picture in the paper and not be out of work because of me ruining the play and turning on the sprinklers.
Whoa! Hold your horses. Let's sit down and begin from the beginning. That's quite a story, Harvey. And I must say, it's indeed rare to find someone so loyal to his employer that he'd even face danger for him. Hawkins, when your time with Harvey is over, how would you like to work for me?
Well, madam,
Well, the city's convinced me to open my house to the public as an historical landmark. I won't be able to handle it alone.
Oh, then, madam, I accept gratefully.
Help! What was that?
Oh, my gosh! I forgot! Charlotte!
Help! Somebody help me! Help me up, you idiot! Don't just stand there! Help me!
Sir.
Cute Charlotte!
We're all packed, huh? You know, I shall miss you all very much. But fortunately, I'll just be across town.
I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of you, Hawkins.
See you later, Hawkins.
Harvey?
Haven't you learned yet that a gentleman does not leave the house while company is still present?
Well, gosh, Dad, Hawkins isn't company. He's family. Besides, they're giving away free grab bags at the kids' matinee today. I gotta get there before they run out.
By all means, sir. I'm sure we'll be seeing each other often when Mrs. Mosley's house is open to the public. It'll be free.
Free? I'll be there.
I don't think that boy is ever going to stop looking for things that are free.
If you'll forgive me, sir, I believe someone once said that the best things in life are free.
You know, Hawkins, I guess they are.